So one of the things I've been having to work on for my lower body training is abdominal control, which I'm very good at for powerlifting, not so much for bodybuilding. But I do think it's something that can be applicable for other people, even if they don't have a powerlifting background. The thing I was doing wrong when it comes to bodybuilding training, I was trying to brace, right? So in bracing, you're creating a neutral spine position, you're really pushing air down, the cue is to fill the belly with air, right? Gives you a very stable base to lift from. But essentially what you're doing is you're biasing kind of your hip musculature when you do that. So for bodybuilding, we don't want that, right? We want to put as much stress on the legs as possible. And so you still want to create that neutral spine position. You still want to contract the upper abs. You still want to use the lower abs, especially to pull the hips under the shoulders. What you don't want to do is to push air into your belly. You really actually want to try to keep the core as tight as possible and breathe, keeping the ribs flat. And when you do that, it is going to limit the amount of weight you can use, but it's also going to limit the amount that you can use your hips and your core to lift the weight. So for bodybuilding training, it's beneficial. Even if you're a strength athlete, I find that that's beneficial when it comes to getting carryover for movements like a leg extension for your competition lifts. So for this movement in particular, what I'm thinking about when I'm doing this, I'm cueing leg drive in the bench. That's what I'm thinking about. So I'm hooking my feet under this, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm pretending the ground is under my feet, and I am driving my feet forward, trying to push my hips back into this pad, because that's exact, and drive the knees out as well, because that's exactly what I'm going to do when I'm trying to get leg drive on the bench. Okay, so I'm going to do this is my last set here. I've already done 2 sets, and then we'll move over to a compound exercise.
And then are you doing all the other things every day to like load up, or everything is remarkable. Compound everything adds, and it's that you do. Right, so I think that's what people pay for is essentially the camera, you know, wait, so it's an animal that we cut off which is huge, so we were smoking a lot. Help me cut down already. I think she's ready. She's getting
So I didn't push quite as hard as I wanted to on that top set. I probably had 2 reps left in the tank, but my knees were hurting pretty bad. So I try to walk the line when that happens. Like, you can't just pussy out and be like, I'm not gonna do it. I have a lot of people that tell me that stuff, and if that's your attitude, like, you're not gonna get very far, because shit hurts, right? But at the same time, you can't push to the point where your knees explode. So hurt a little bit on that. I'm warming up for the belt squats. It's not feeling great, so I'm just gonna put some capsaicin on. This stuff is like $10 or whatever at Walgreens. It's a pepper extract. I love it for joint pain. It increases blood flow to the area, so it's actually doing a lot to heal, but the pepper extract will actually, over time, kind of shut down the nerve receptors. So it'll diminish the pain, it'll help heal the joints. Really, really beneficial, and I highly recommend it if you're a strength athlete or a bodybuilder. You might want to be careful about covering it with a knee sleeve like I do, because it gets very, very hot. It's activated by water, so it'll burn. I like that because if it's burning, I can't feel the pain, but a lot of people it's too much for, and I put on so much that I've actually given myself like a chemical burn where like my skin actually, it looked like I had a giant blister. So I always give people a little bit of caution there. And when you wash it off, you got to wash it off with really, really cold water, even use like alcohol wipes, because again, the water will activate it and make it even hotter. But yeah, this is a good thing to have in your gym bag if you have joint pain. So when you got just like a little bit left and you can't get it out, just put it in your shaker cup. You just put water in a little tub. And then you got half as much work and twice as much supplement. I'm tired. Unless the top gets stuck and then you're fucked. You just look silly. That was good. Holy shit.
to. I may be drawn to something that I can't face for you.